Yo, what's going on YouTube? Charific here, coming at you with the first ever movie review that I have done on my channel. It will be covering Pokemon, the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back. And I am joined with a very cool YouTuber, known him for well over a year now, I think. We've just been following each other's content like back and forth. Um, you may know him. He's a very wonderful rabbit man. I would like to introduce Mr. Wannabe Reviewer.
Everybody, Wannabe Reviewer here. I'm pretty honored to have been asked by Charific to do this review, and yeah, basically, I'm really excited. I think this is a really cool idea that he has, where he says he kind of wants to go through each of the Pokemon movies and do like a little review on them. So I'm excited. I think this sounds really fun. So take it away, Charific.
Okay, so the way that I have this set up is that first, well, with this movie, there's a little prologue, is what I like to call it. And so there's going to be the prologue, then phase one, phase two, and then phase three. So without further ado, we're just going to dive into the prologue. And so it, I should probably say how this is going to work. So after we cover the plot of the movie, then we're going to talk about the good and the bad, and then we're just going to overall, subjectively, use our opinions here and just say whether or not we think that it is an overall good movie. Wait, no, an objectively good movie. There we go. So we're just going to dive right into the prologue, and it starts off. We see the narrator talking about life and how, humans are, take time to research it and whatnot. And then we're shown Mewtwo's origin story. And from the beginning, we see that, he's just been an object. He's a test subject. Um, and, once he finally starts talking, their own really like main concern is that, oh hey, we this worked. And then they pretty much just said that, oh, this is just the beginning. And then Mewtwo understandably breaks free and then might have murdered them. We're not sure if he
It's
murdered them or not.
I think it's confirmed he did kill them. Yes,
I mean, well,
he did kill them.
it is off screen, so we're not. I mean, we are showing the factory blowing up, laboratory blowing up. But who knows? Maybe they had some Pidgeots or some Pharaohs that they hopped on and flew off in the distance.
Oh my
Who
God.
knows?
It's like those movies where it's like, no, they were the pilot in the plane, it's fine. He just jumped out last minute.
Yeah. um, and then at that point, Mewtwo is standing on alone in the wreckage. Oh, and I didn't say this, but just feel free to jump in, Wannabe, whenever you feel like you have something to say. That's perfectly fine with me. Um,
Right.
he meets Giovanni, and Giovanni, of course, capitalizes on the situation because he's a mobster. Yeah, I think that's what they were based off of, Team Rocket. But yeah, he's a businessman. He sees an opportunity. So Giovanni pretty much just tricks Mewtwo into thinking, oh hey, yeah, I'm gonna, I'm gonna be your partner. I'm gonna be your friend. But your power is uncontrollable. He makes an analogy to like a raging fire that I really wish I wrote down that I don't that I didn't write down, but that's fine. He pretty much just says that, hey, your power is going to destroy everything, including you. Come with me, I'll help you focus it. And I don't know. And we see, Giovanni like soups him up with the mechanisms and whatnot. Mewtwo kind of calls him out on it, though. Um, let's see what. Let's see. Mewtwo said, hey,
He fights
you're
Gary.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yes, we do see because that always confused me in the anime. I was like, what the heck is Gary fighting? And they don't address it.
Yeah. I think it's kind of cool how it. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool how it like circles back to that.
Yeah, yeah. So we see Gary for the first time in his life being absolutely decimated in a Pokemon battle because he's always been the hot shot. Um, and then what? Oh yeah, and then Mewtwo comes out and says, "Hey, you're not." Um, well, Mewtwo starts questioning like what his role is because they use Mewtwo to like levitate the Tauros and they start chucking Pokeballs and catching them. Giovanni just uses him for battles. Then Mewtwo calls him out. He's like, "Hey, what? You're just restraining my power. What are we?" And then Giovanni's like, "Oh." you're below me. Pokemon and humans will never be friends, or you're just a tool for me to use to get stronger effectively. And, Mewtwo handles the situation like any natural 2 year
Pretty
old
pretty
would.
well.
Yeah.
Pretty
I
well.
mean, kind of throws a temper tantrum, blows up some stuff again, and then he runs away. And then the prologue ends with Mewtwo asking the same question I did as a 15-year-old: Who am I? And then he looks off in the distance. And then he quickly discovers, though, that he decides he wants to take over the world. Like, you know what? Humans aren't worth it. I just want to rule things myself because I have the power to do it. And yeah, he wants to purge the world of humans and Pokemon. And that's kind of where I want to end off the prologue. And I think technically that's where it ends off too, because after that it just fades to black, then we see Ash. But so Wannabe, what do you think of the prologue? I don't know, I guess, do you have any like extra thoughts that you have that you want to share?
I actually think the prologue's pretty. I like how it has kind of like a darker tone
Yeah,
than like what we're used to in the anime. Like I thought that was really fun.
yeah.
I think it's a good origin story.
Hmm.
Seeing how Mewtwo is basically used as a tool. He fights back against it. Giovanni tricks him. All that stuff. I thought that was really good. I like the prologue. I think the prologue is really good.
Yeah. And and not to interrupt you, I think it also like sets up, I don't know, because it leaves you that tone of, oh, what's gonna happen next? What's Mewtwo's grand plan for how he's gonna accomplish this? And so I think it serves pretty well as a nice little introduction to the movie and just setting up what's to come, if that makes sense.
I think so too. I think
Yeah,
it sets up things really well. And like I said, I just like the whole tone. Like it's not
yeah,
something you really expect from like the anime. So seeing this tone, it's a little darker. Like I don't remember too good how I reacted when I first watched the movie, but
hmm,
when I was rewatching it, in order to prepare for this video, I was like, wow, that's actually like a really interesting starter. I don't remember the movie starting like this. Like this is actually like pretty cool. I liked it.
yeah, yeah. And I guess I didn't notice it. I don't know, because definitely while rewatching the movie, like things stood out to me that I didn't remember. But I didn't really. I guess I didn't really know like just like how dark it was at the beginning. And Mewtwo, like, and of course using my now adult mindset, he has for all of his life, even if it has been just like 2 weeks or a month or whatever, his entire life he's kind of just been mistreated, which I do find pretty interesting. Nice intro to the movie. And so now I'm gonna move past that and go into, I guess, what I like to call phase one. Um, excuse me. And so initially we start off where I guess a break in the anime. We see Ash and friends, they're just out relaxing. And then we see a potential stranger danger moment because a random guy just walks up to Ash, knows his full name, and randomly
Yeah,
knows his
I always thought that was so weird. Like we've
yeah.
never seen that. I mean, it kind of makes sense when you think about it, where it's like, "Hey, are you Ash? I want to battle you." Like it makes
Yeah.
sense because, like, yeah, I guess trainers would talk about each other, right? Like someone
Yeah.
really would say, "I battled a guy named Ash. He has like a Pikachu or whatever, blah blah blah." But
Yeah.
we've never seen it up to now. So it is really random when the guy's like, "Hey, are you Ash Ketchum?" Like blah blah blah. He doesn't know
Yeah.
his name. It's so creepy.
Yeah, but I guess it does make sense because in this Pokemon world, battles are effectively everything. I mean, heck, in the new games, they have entire stadiums built around Pokemon and Dynamaxing, but that's a whole other video. um,
Yeah.
but I don't know, it is pretty interesting I guess, just how in the Pokemon world, it's not uncommon to just have someone randomly walk up to you and your reputation. Because I think at this point, Ash does have all. No, he doesn't have all eight. Does he have all eight badges at this point? No, yeah, he does, I think.
Yeah, I must say I think he
Yeah.
should because if they showed like for instance that part with Gary,
Yeah,
he
that's true.
fights the gym right after Gary does, and that's where he
Yeah,
gets his eighth badge.
that's
So yeah.
true. So yeah, and of course it'll be an important thing if a trainer just has eight badges, so you want to test them out. And then, in my opinion, I think we get an amazing rendition of the theme song that makes me scream like a little girl on Christmas. That's just my like that's my like hearing it for the first time in years. it blew my mind just how amazing it sounded, and just we have the battle. What was I going to say? We have the battle behind it and whatnot, and so I thought that was pretty cool. Do
Yeah,
you?
like that little intro is basically just like pure fan service,
Yeah.
but it's like done well because it helps you establish. I guess it's supposed to be like so even if you haven't really seen the show before, it helps establish that like okay, here's this guy named Ash. Obviously, he's a big deal at this point.
Hmm.
It's really good, and here's the theme song. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much like, hey, one of the most iconic songs ever written in history. Here you go again, but it's new. um,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
excuse me. And then we get um, Ash gets an invitation to New Island, and he says yes, of course, because he's thrilled for the battle. And then we see Mewtwo. Well, I guess technically not Mewtwo. It's supposed to be an unknown entity because he's just sitting in his chair. We just see him wave his hand, but he makes a storm of biblical proportions. Um, and what was I going to say? Oh yeah, basically this huge storm, um, and this storm is even mentioned in a prophecy. Um, and what am I trying to say? They just set it up as this big deal. They stopped all trainers from crossing the ocean because of it. And then they mention the prophecy and how a lot of people in Pokemon died during the storm, and how might want to put a little sticky note in this, but their tears bring them back to life. Keep that in mind. And so, of course, Ash, he's up for adventure. He braves the storm along with other trainers, and they make it to Mewtwo, well, the Master's castle. And it's shown that the Master created the storm. And then we find out the big moment, the Master is Mewtwo, as if people couldn't put two and two together. And then, of course, Team Rocket bumbles their way onto the island. They find Mewtwo's lab, and then we get a little bit of exposition about Mewtwo and his cloning and what he's been doing. And then, the clone Meowth pops up. That was a cute little moment. And then Mewtwo explains his grand plan in full detail and how he's going to exterminate all the humans and Pokemon who serve the humans because he considers them just slaves, and they don't have a free will of their own, so they're useless. And he's going to replace them with his clones, and he claims that his clones are superior to the originals. And I mean, I kind of have to agree to him because the first three clones, like the Venusaur, Blastoise, Charizard, they have scars, and scars make everything cool and better. But what was I going to say? Oh, actually, yeah, I think we'll end off phase one there. So, do you have any comments on, I guess, this rising action of the story?
So yeah, so right after, I guess trying to like, taking a step back. So
Hmm.
right after we get that little intro with Ash fighting, he receives the invitation.
Yes.
I think that's pretty cool. I think that plot points, it's interesting as you're watching it because it's like, ooh, called by like a mysterious person that, yeah, I mean, sure, we know it's Mewtwo, but like in the
Hmm.
context of the movie, it's like, okay, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And of course, Ash is excited because the letter basically says like, I'm like the master of Pokemon. I'm the best trainer in the world. Challenge me. So like, that's
Hmm.
cool.
Yeah.
uh I thought the part where they get to the Pokemon Center and there's that prophecy, like it is a little, like it
Hmm.
does feel kind of. I mean, I get why, like it's a kids movie, obviously,
Yeah.
but I did think it was a bit heavy-handed because it's like they don't just say like, "Oh, there's a storm." It's like, "No, I
Yeah.
believe this." And like it just sounds silly, but up to then, up to this point, once again, I mean, I think it's fine. It's a kids movie. I kind of understand it.
Yeah.
Something I do want to say, I thought it was really cheesy where some of the trainers start braving the storm.
Oh yeah.
That lady, I don't remember what that lady is, but that lady, she's some sort of like official or something. Her and Officer Jenny are like
Hmm.
on the dock watching them brave the storm.
Oh
And Officer
yeah.
Jenny's like, we should stop them. And the lady's like, no, uh, to like face their destiny, leave them. Like I thought that was really
Yeah.
cheesy.
it's definitely cheesy just because I mean, one like you literally just said people died in a storm like this, but you're not gonna stop these kids because they had just such the desire for adventure that they ignored you and went in the storm anyway. Like
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They're kids. They're dumb kids who don't know what they're doing. But she's like, no, let them. They're like brave and trying to face their destiny. It's like, okay then.
yeah, and oh man, and can we also talk about her accent? Like, why does she randomly just have an accent? Like, why?
I don't know. I guess they just thought it would sound more impactful if someone with an accent that's foreign is stating a prophecy, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and like I guess maybe, but we've never heard the accent once, like in the anime, and it never happens again. Like she's the only person in the Pokemon universe to have this accent, and I just find it, I don't know, it's definitely very, I don't know, very interesting that they chose that direction to make her seem official.
Yeah,
Um,
it was weird.
and and I
Another
guess
thing I wanted to say,
yeah.
I'll let you go. I'll let you talk because I think you're gonna talk more about like this part. So,
Oh no, I was gonna backtrack because I forgot to say something. So you're good. Go ahead and
oh no, it's cool. Backtrack real quick. Backtrack
okay.
real quick.
I was gonna say back to that initial battle. I do like, and I will give the movie director props for I guess putting in because they put Dawn Fan in, and I thought that was pretty cool because it's setting up. I guess like the next adventure in Pokemon because especially as you're a kid, you're watching this, you're like, oh okay, yeah, we're gonna see the same stuff. But then like right out the get go, um, you see this new Pokemon that wasn't shown before in the anime, and you're like, what the heck is that? And then Donphan, in my opinion, just one of the coolest Gen 2 Pokemon out there. Like, I love its mechanic. It's like a little elephant taper thing, and it just rolls. And I don't know why, but that just, it speaks to me for some reason. But I thought that was pretty cool how they did that.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. That's true. They kind of give you a little peek into like Gen 2. I hadn't even thought about that. That was really cool actually.
Yeah,
And they did pick a good Pokemon, you're right.
yeah.
Because I mean, if they had gone with one of the starters,
Mm-hmm.
I guess they didn't want to kind of like, go a little too far.
Yeah,
So they're like, we'll give you a different one.
yeah.
And yeah, Donphan's definitely a good Pokemon. I love that Pokemon.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it looks really cute as like Fanpy.
Yeah,
And then when it evolves, it's just like this total badass. I agree.
yeah.
It's an awesome
And
Pokemon.
then for some reason, like it's just whole mechanic is rolling, and like because any Dawn fan that you see in the anime, like rollout is like its main thing, and I don't know, it just it has a gimmick and it does it well, I think. So what were you gonna say?
Oh, yeah, jumping back to where we were, at the part where like the trainers are trying to brave the sea or whatever. I just thought it was really funny how different trainers start using their Pokemon to try to get to the island.
Mm-hmm.
Ash and friends, they don't really have any like really big Pokemon to use.
Yeah.
So of course Team Rocket shows up because Team Rocket, wants to get involved. And I mean that part, I mean, it's par for the course. That's exactly what you would expect from the anime. Team
Yeah.
Rocket always shows up in disguise and
Yeah.
Ash and company like never recognize them.
Of course.
The part I wanted to say though, I thought was really funny how during the storm capsized,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's really funny how Ash and his friends use Pokemon to reach the island.
Oh yeah.
Happens to Team Rocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's so heartless. Like you were literally with Team Rocket. Team Rocket helped you get like 75% of the way here. And when your ship capsizes and you reach the island, you reach the shore, you don't even bother to go like, oh, I wonder what happened to Team Rocket. Like they just don't care.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, 'cause, because Team Rocket clearly don't have any water Pokemon. I mean, because James he had a Gyarados, but we all know what happened with that. So yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They kind of do just forget about Team Rocket. I didn't even think
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
so heartless. Like they don't even go like, oh, we made it. I wonder how. No, no. Just, who cares about Team Rocket?
Yeah,
Who cares?
yeah. They're irrelevant. They don't even matter. um,
Yeah, and then proceeding with the story, I think, I mean, the reveal's super obvious, and the person under Mewtwo's control being Nurse Joy, once
mhm,
again, super obvious to anyone who's paying attention, but
yeah.
it works fine. I think that reveal is super cool.
Hmm.
introduces himself and like the way he presents himself is really cool. It's like
Yeah.
very super villainy.
Oh yeah.
Really like that part. I also really like how even though they're bumbling around, I do think it's really cool how Team Rocket like finds the lab
Yeah.
and they start like seeing all the information on the clones and stuff. Like I
Hmm.
thought that was pretty cool actually. It gives it kind of like a spooky vibe and stuff.
Yeah.
Really like that. And where did you end off this phase? Were you at the part where they had fought or not yet?
Oh no, 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 not yet. I stopped this phase like right before they fight, like right
Okay.
before they
The
release
dude.
the clones.
Okay. The thing I did want to say though is that Mewtwo's plan is so weird.
Yes,
Like
definitely.
I get his plan. Yeah, I get his plan and I like it. I mean,
Hmm.
someone who's mad wants to get rid of humanity. I mean, that part's cool.
Hmm.
But then why did you invite trainers to the island? So you could gloat about it, I guess, before you do it? Like
Yeah,
it's so
yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, because that's definitely very, very weird. Like, because why not just start your plan off now? And I mean, maybe he was looking for strong poke. I think maybe it was more of an ego trip, because I think he says that, oh, I'm also a Pokemon trainer, and they do battle. He puts his starters versus theirs, um, and maybe it's just to prove that his clones are better. I guess. Like that's
why
all
does
I
he
can
need to
think of.
prove it, I
That's
guess.
true.
I think another part of it, which we will get to in a minute, maybe he
Hmm.
just wanted more Pokemon to kidnap so he could clone more Pokemon.
Yeah.
But still, he could have used his powers and cloned all 50 on his own. He didn't need to like invite people to his island. It's weird, right?
Yeah,
But
that's true.
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where it is dumb. I
Hmm.
think the screenwriters or whatever could have done a better job with this.
Hmm.
But I guess it makes sense because it's just such a common trope
Yeah.
of, the villain wants to gloat about his plan and explain it to somebody,
Yeah, even though
I
they
guess.
have no reason to. Like Mewtwo literally could have gotten away with it because no one even knew that New Ireland was a thing. The only person who was alive and knew that Mewtwo was a thing was Giovanni, and clearly he's not going to go tell him like, "Oh, hey, I illegally funded the genetic experimentation of Pokemon." Like, no, he's not going to do that. So he could have easily gotten away with his plans if he were to just not gloat. But of course they have to like push the narrative and whatnot. And so that's and then another thing that I just thought about is he's literally just cloning the Pokemon, right? So what I don't understand is that if he wants Pokemon that I guess like haven't been quote unquote enslaved by humans, then why would he make clones of the Pokemon and quote unquote enslaved by humans? Like, why not find wild Pokemon who've never met a human and ask them to join or something like that? Because I don't know, because it's just a weird thing. Because why make like exact copies of the Pokemon that you don't want in the world?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's one of those things where it's just I feel
Yeah.
like it's just for the setup, it's for the irony later, I
Oh
guess. Because
yeah.
yeah, it would have made so much more sense for him to catch wild Pokemon. Or heck, Mewtwo, why do you even need under your command? Isn't it kind of hypocritical to say that Pokemon are slaves because they only follow directions when you have Pokemon that follow your directions?
Yeah, yeah, because why not just wipe out all
Yeah,
humans with your psychic powers? Like,
oh my
oh
god.
man,
We'll get to some of that later. But yeah, it's
yeah,
kind of where like if you pay attention to the movie, it does fall apart a little bit, if you
yeah,
pay too much attention to it.
but of course we're looking at it from like 20 years after it was made. Clearly, it wasn't marketed towards adults. I mean, I guess maybe because it's family friendly, so maybe they wanted to get some adults in there, but they were concerned with like little children figuring out the plot holes in Mewtwo's plan. So
Yeah, exactly. It's
yeah,
basically to show this legendary Pokemon and yeah.
yeah, and I mean with that, we will have to cover the other two phases. I did not expect to talk about in great detail like I did, but I enjoy it. We got some nice commentary and whatnot, nice two different perspectives, but we will have to settle this review in another video, in a part two of sorts, where we will go over phase two, which is the main climax of the movie, and then phase three, which is the resolution, and then I guess give our overall summary of the movie. So, for those of you who are watching, show Wannabe Reviewer some love. Check out his content. He makes, now, of course, this is a very spoiler filled review. If you haven't seen the movie, that came out 20 years ago, but he makes non-spoiler reviews, and he also comes out with a podcast, hopefully every Friday when he's not going on vacation. um,
Yeah, I know, I know.
but every Friday you can expect a podcast from him, um, and every Wednesday, hopefully, it's a spoiler-free movie review. So check him out if you haven't. And with that, show Wannabe Reviewer some love. Thank him. Comment all that fun stuff, generic YouTube stuff, algorithm, yada, yada, yada. Comment, like, and subscribe, the whole spiel. And with that, I will see you in part two of this video. Bye.